Hare Krishna. We are continuing chapter 2 of the Journey of Self Discovery book by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupāda. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Beyond Religion. In June 1976, Srila Prabhupada fields questions sent to him from the editors of Bhavan's Journal, one of Bombay's leading cultural and religious periodicals. Here is the first question. It is said that the greatest strength of Hinduism is its Catholicity or breadth of outlook, but that this is also its greatest weakness in that there are very few religious observances that are obligatory for all as in other religions. Is it necessary and possible to outline certain basic minimum observances for all Hindus? Srila Prabhupada answers. As far as Vedic religion is concerned, it is not for the Hindus, it is for all living entities. That is the first thing to be understood. Vedic religion is called Sanatan Dharma, the eternal occupation of the living entity. The living entity is Sanatan, God is Sanatan, and there is Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan Dharma is meant for all living entities, not just the so called Hindus. Hinduism, this ism, that ism, these are all misconceptions. Historically, Sanatan Dharma was followed regularly in India, and Indians were called Hindus by the Muslims. The Muslims saw that the Indians lived on the other side of the river Sindh, and the Muslims pronounced Sindh as Hind. Therefore, they called India Hindustan, and the people who lived there Hindus. But the word Hindu has no reference in the Vedic literature, nor does so called Hindu Dharma. Now, that Sanatan Dharma or Vedic Dharma is being distorted, not being obeyed, not being carried out properly. It has come to be known as Hinduism. But that is a fake understanding. That is not a real understanding. We have to study Sanatan Dharma as it is described in Bhagavad Gita and other Vedic literatures. Then we'll understand what Vedic religion is. Srila Prabhupada tells to a devotee to read from the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 18th verse. Devotee reads. Tvam aksharam paramam vedittavyam Tvam asya vishwasya param nidhanam Tvam avyaya sashashvata dharma gopta Sanatanastvam purusho mato me. O Lord Krishna, you are the supreme primal object. You are the ultimate resting place of all this universe. You are inexhaustible and you are the oldest. You are the maintainer of the eternal religion, the personality of Godhead. This is my opinion. Srila Prabhupada. This understanding is wanted. Krishna is eternal, we are eternal, and the place where we can live and exchange our feelings with Krishna, that is eternal. And the system that teaches this eternal process of reciprocation, that is Sanatan Dharma, which is made for everyone. So Prabhupada is telling us that what is real Sanatan Dharma is. It is not concerned with a particular class of people. No. Sanatan Dharma is for everyone. It is connected with soul and Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Devotee. So, what would be the daily prescribed religious observances followed by one who is aspiring for the Sanatan Dharma? What would he do? The complaint is that within Hinduism, or let's say Sanatan Dharma, There is such a breadth, there is so much variegatedness in different types. Srila Prabhupada continues, why do you go to variegatedness? Why don't you take the real purpose of religion from Krishna? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 18.66, Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Give up all other so-called dharmas and just surrender unto me. Why don't you take that? Why are you taking up variegated practices under the name of so-called Hinduism? Why don't you take the advice of the Sanatan Krishna? You refuse to accept Sanatan Dharma, what the Sanatan God says, but you say, how can we avoid so many varieties of and come to the right point? Why accept varieties? Take to this one consciousness. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Why don't you do that? Devotee. How can people do this practically on a daily basis? Prabhupada answers, how are we doing it? Is what we are doing not practical? People will manufacture their own impractical way of religion, but they won't take our practical practice system. What is that? Man mana bhava mad bhakto mad yaji mam namaskuru. Simply think of Krishna, become his devotee, worship him, and offer obeisances to him. Where is the difficulty? Where is the impracticality? Krishna says, this is your duty. If you do this, you will come to me without any doubt. Why don't you do that? Why remain Hindu? Why remain Muslim? Why remain Christian? Give up all this nonsense, just surrender to Krishna and understand I am a devotee of Krishna, a servant of Krishna. Then everything will immediately be resolved. Devotee. But the Hindus would say there are so many other aspects to Hindu Dharma. Srila Prabhupada. Real Dharma is defined in Srimad Bhagavatam. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. What God says, that is Dharma. Now God says, give up all other dharmas and just surrender unto me. So take that dharma. Why do you want to remain a Hindu? And besides, what Hindu does not accept the authority of Krishna? Even today, if any Hindu says, I don't care for Krishna and Bhagavad Gita, he will immediately be rejected as a madman. Why don't you take Krishna's instructions? Why go elsewhere? Your trouble is that you do not know what religion is, and you do not know what Sanatan Dharma is. In our Krishna consciousness society, there are many who were formerly so called Hindus, so called Muslims, and so called Christians. But now they don't care for Hindu or Muslim or Christian. They care only for Krishna. That's all. If you follow false religious system, you suffer. But if you follow real religious system, you will be happy. So Prabhupada is telling us that all these isms, Hinduism, Christianity, all these religions, so-called religions, are connected with body. But we are not this body, we are soul, we are part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. So our real dharma is to serve Him. Unfortunately, the Indian people gave up the real religious system, Sanatan Dharma or Varnashram Dharma, and accepted a hodgepodge thing called Hinduism. Therefore, there is trouble. Vedic religion means Varnashram Dharma, the division of society into four social classes and four spiritual orders of life. Varna and ashrams. There are four varnas and four ashramas. The four social classes are the Brahmanas, priests and intellectuals, the Kshatriyas, political leaders and military men, the Vaishyas, merchants and farmers, and The Shudras, manual laborers. The four spiritual orders are the Brahmacharis, celibate student, the Grihasthas, householders, the Vanaprasthas, retired persons, and the Sannyasis, renunciants. When all these classes and orders work harmoniously to satisfy the Lord, that is real religion or dharma, devotee. The next question is this. In the Kali Yuga, the present age of coral, bhakti, devotional service to God, has been described as the most suitable path for God realization. Yet, how is it that Vedantic teaching, which stress jnana, knowledge, or intellectual speculation, are emphasized by noted savants? Srila Prabhupada. The so called Vedantists are cheaters. They do not know what Vedanta is. But people want to be cheated and the cheaters are taking advantage of them. The word Veda means knowledge and Anta means end. So the meaning of Vedanta is the ultimate knowledge. And the Vedanta Sutra teaches this. A sutra is an aphorism in a few words. A big philosophy is given. The first aphorism in the Vedanta Sutra is Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Now, in the human form of life, one should inquire about Brahma, the absolute truth. So, the study of the Vedanta Sutra begins when one is inquisitive about the absolute truth. And what is that absolute truth? That is answered in the nutshell in second aphorism. Janmadhyasya yataha. Brahma is the origin of everything. So, Brahma is God, the origin of everything, and all Veda or knowledge culminates in Him. This is confirmed by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita 15.15. Vedascha sarvar ahameva vedya. The purpose of all Vedas, all books of knowledge, is to search out me. So, the whole Vedanta Sutra is a description of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But because in this Kali Yuga, people will not be able to study Vedanta Sutra nicely on account of a lack of education, Srila Vyasdeva personally wrote a commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. That commentary is Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhashyam Brahma Sutranam. Srimad Bhagavatam is the real commentary on Vedanta Sutra written by the same author Vyasdev under the instruction of Narad, his spiritual master. Srimad Bhagavatam begins with the same aphorism as the Vedanta Sutra, Janmadhyasya yataha, and then continues Anvayad itaratas chartheshva abhidnyaswarat. So, actually, in Srimad Bhagavatam, the Vedanta Sutra is explained by the author of the Vedanta Sutra. But some rascals, without understanding the Vedanta Sutra, without reading the natural commentary on Vedanta Sutra, are posing themselves as Vedantists and misguiding people. And because people are not educated, they are accepting these rascals as Vedantists. Actually, the so called Vedantists are bluffers. They are not Vedantists. They do not know anything of the Vedanta. The Vedanta Sutra is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam, and if we take Srimad Bhagavatam as the real explanation of the Vedanta Sutra, we can understand what Vedanta is. But if we take shelter of the bluffers, then we will not learn Vedanta. People do not know anything, so they can be bluffed and cheated by anyone. But now they should learn from Krishna consciousness movement what Vedanta is and what the explanation of Vedanta is. Then they will be benefited. So, actually, what happens when we take material education, we are very careful whether the school or college is authorized or not, it is sanctioned by government or not, what is its result. We check everything. But when we are taking spiritual education, which is highest, when we talk about spiritual education, which is highest, we don't check all these things. We just go to any Baba and all and take spiritual education. But we don't check whether that person is qualified or not, whether that person is coming down from a uh, parampara, authorized parampara or not. We don't check all these things. That is the problem. Devotee. Generally, those who follow the impersonalistic commentary on the Vedanta Sutra are concerned with liberation from the miseries of the material world. Does Srimad Bhagavatam also describe liberation? Srila Prabhupada. Yes. Srimad Bhagavatam is the real commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. We find this verse describing liberation in this age. Kaler dosha nidhe rajan अस्ति य एको महान गुणः कीर्तनाद एव कृष्णस्य मुक्त संग परम व्रजेत. In this Kali Yuga, which is an ocean full of faults, there is one benediction. What is that? One can become liberated simply by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. This is real Vedanta and actually it is happening. Devotee. Are you saying that the conclusion of the Vedanta Sutra and the conclusion of Srimad Bhagavatam are one and the same? Bhakti? Srila Prabhupada answers, yes. Devotee. But how does bhakti tie into the conclusion of Vedantic knowledge or wisdom? Here it says that bhakti is the most suitable and easiest path of God realization, but it also says that the Vedantic teachings stress jnana or knowledge. Is that a fact? Srila Prabhupada answers, what is jnana? That is explained by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanvan mam prapadyate. After many, many births, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me. So, unless one surrenders to Krishna, there is no jnana. This impersonalistic jnana is all nonsense. The impersonalists are passing themselves off as jnanis, but they have no knowledge at all. Vedanta means the ultimate knowledge. Earlier only Prabhupada told Ved and Anta, the ultimate knowledge. So the subject matter of ultimate knowledge is Krishna, God. If one does not know who God is, who Krishna is, then where is one's knowledge? But if a rascal claims, I am a man of knowledge, then what can be done? In the same verse we just mentioned, Krishna concludes, Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. When one understands that Vasudeva, Krishna is everything, one is in knowledge. So, knowledge means knowing that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Before that, there is no knowledge. It is simply misunderstanding. Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagwaniti Shabdyate. One may begin by searching out impersonal Brahma by the speculative method, and then one may progress to realization of Paramatma, the localized aspect of the Supreme. That is the secondary stage of realization. But the final stage is understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. So, if you do not understand Krishna, where is your knowledge? Halfway knowledge is not knowledge. We want complete knowledge, and that complete knowledge is possible by the grace of Krishna through Bhagavad Gita. Devotee, can I ask next question, Srila Prabhupada? Is a guru essential for one to enter the spiritual path and attain the goal? And how does one recognize one's guru? Srila Prabhupada. Yes, a guru is necessary. That is explained in Bhagavad Gita. When Krishna and Arjun were talking as friends, there was no conclusion. Therefore, Arjun decided to accept Krishna as his guru. Srila Prabhupada tells to a devotee to find out this verse. Karpanya dosho pahata swabhava. Devotee reads, Karpanya doshopahata swabhava Prichhami tvam dharma sammudha Yachreyasyannichitam bruhi tanme Shishyasteham sadhimam tvam prapannam. Now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of miserly weakness in this condition. I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 7. Srila Prabhupada. Not only Arjuna, but everyone is perplexed about his duty. Nobody can decide for himself. When a physician is seriously sick, he does not prescribe his own treatment. He knows his brain is not in order, so he calls for another physician. Similarly, when we are perplexed, bewildered, when we cannot reach any solution, at that time the right person to search out is the Guru. It is essential. You cannot avoid it. So, very nice example Prabhupada is quoting here of a physician. Similarly, we can understand this that when a person is stuck under a well, now that person cannot come out by himself. There must be another person out of the well, and then that another person will help the person stuck in the well, under the well, to come out. So, we need a guru to come out of this material life and to enter into the kingdom of God. So, in our present state of existence, we are all perplexed. And under the circumstances, a guru is required to give us real direction. Arjuna represents the perplexed materialistic person who surrenders to a guru. And to set the example, Arjuna decided on Krishna as his guru. He did not go to anyone else. So the real guru is Krishna. Krishna is guru not only for Arjuna but for everyone. If we take instruction from Krishna, which he is giving in Bhagavad Gita, and abide by that instruction, our life is successful. So this is a mantra to be successful. What? To follow the instructions of Krishna. The mission of the Krishna consciousness movement is to get everyone to accept Krishna as Guru. That is our mission. We don't say, I am Krishna. We never say that. We simply ask people, please abide by the orders of Krishna. Devotee. Some of these so called gurus will say some things that Krishna says, but they will give other instructions also. What is the position of such persons? Śrīla Prabhupada. They are most dangerous. Most dangerous. They are opportunists. According to the customer, they give some teachings so he will be pleased. Such a person is not a guru, he is a servant. He wants to serve his so called disciples so that they may be satisfied and pay him something. A real guru is not a servant of his disciples, he is their master. If one becomes a servant, if he wants to please the disciples by flattering them to get their money, then he is not a guru. A guru should also be a servant, yes, but a servant of the Supreme. The literal meaning of the word guru is heavy. Heavy with knowledge and authority, because his knowledge and authority come from Krishna. You cannot utilize the guru for satisfying your whims. Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. And we say the same thing. Surrender to Krishna, give up all other ideas of so called dharma or religiosity. We don't say I am the authority. No. We say Krishna is the authority. And you should try to understand Krishna. This is the Krishna consciousness movement. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.